go away, right? Mystery angles do not disappear, but it's just we might add some layers to it, and then we're going to start talking about polygons. So pentagons, hexagons, heptagons, and so forth. So I strongly encourage you to do 17 and 18 whenever you have a chance. I would like you to take some time right now and then go to page 19. It says here, determine the value of x, then calculate the values of a, b, and c. Justify, show your work. I'm just going to ask you to do one for now. And then, and if you're done one and you're waiting for us, you can start two already as well. This is on page 19. So I'm going to do a little bit of that, and then we're going to continue with mystery angles. This is just a recap from yesterday, right? What we did yesterday. So I need you to be pretty good at the algebra piece as well. So we have a name for them, right? So this one right here and this one right here are alternate exterior, right? So alternate exterior angles are congruent. We know that. Therefore, we can take these expressions and just make them equal like that. Okay, we can get rid of the brackets. And so I'm going to bring the x's over to this side. So 7x minus 2x equals, the 78 is already on the right side. The 28 comes over subtracting. That's 5x is equal to 50. Divide by 5. X is equal to 10 degrees. That's probably the most crucial part of the whole operation. To get that right. And then next, we figure out what a and b would be equal to. And right, a is equal to this expression because they're vertically opposite. You notice that? So angle A is actually just 2x plus 78. So angle A is equal to 20 plus 78, that's 98 degrees. And angle B, I think you could just say A and B are CIAs, right? They're consecutive interior. So angle B is just 180 minus angle A because they're CIAs. And you're like, could I have plugged in 10 here and just figured out what that was and then subtract that from 180 to get B? Absolutely, right? It's a straight angle there as well. You get the same answer. So B is 180 minus 98. So angle B is 82 degrees. There you go. That's how you do a question like that. So figure out what they are. Can I say equals, or do I need to add them and make them equal to 180, right? If it had been CIAs, and that's how you deal with it. What about this one? I hope that you recognize that these three here are part of a triangle. So that means that we just need to go 2x plus x minus 12 plus 5x. So if you add up all three angles, they're all written in terms of x, that has to be equal to 180. Okay? Sum of triangles equal to 180. And so you can technically get rid of the brackets because there's no negative in front of the brackets that would change any signs or anything like that. Or there's no coefficient of 2 or anything like that in front of it. So now just combine all the x's, right? So this would be 3x and 5x, that's 8x. And you end up with 180 the 12 here comes over adding. So that's 8x is equal to 192. Divide both sides by 8. X is equal to 24 degrees. So a bit more work there. Is it just me, or is it difficult to see? There, that's better. And then you decide how you want to proceed here. I would say that B is equal to 5x for sure, right? So angle B is just 5 times 24, and that gives you 120 degrees. Angle A, watch how I'm going to deal with angle A. Angle A is 180 minus 2x, which is 2 times 24. Does that make sense? What I did there? A is 180 minus this angle. And so that's 180 minus 48. So angle A is 132 degrees. Man, it's getting busy here, right? C is their alternate interior, right? So I'm just going to say is equal to, can you say alternate interior? They're definitely called alternate interior. And the lines, right, that the transversal connects are parallel. So we can say A is equal to, sorry, did I say A? I meant C. C is equal to corresponding, right? You can say corresponding here as well. It doesn't matter. I'll just say corresponding. So C is done. We can circle that. And then D, I'm going to also use corresponding, because once you have A, you actually need to know D as well, because there's a transversal that connects the two parallel lines. So angle D is equal to 132. I'll just say corresponding as well. There are all 4 angles stated on top of solving for X. I'm just going to tell you for 3, I'm just going to give you what X is supposed to equal to. So put that in brackets. X is supposed to be 17 here. And it's a trickier one, trust me. This one is a bit trickier, but nothing that you can't handle. Just you got to use your imagination here a little bit. I'm wondering if I should at least get you started here, though. Many ways of doing this. You could say how should I proceed here? I'll say this. This one is vertically opposite to that one, so technically I could bring this one over. Come on, work with me here. Plus 40, right? I can do this. I can also say that the 3x plus 4 can come in here. I should do brackets, right? And now you should be able to see that we didn't have a name for these ones, right? No name, right? Superstar, no name. And now we have a name for it. Now we know something about these two, right? They're CIAs. They're supposed to add up to 180. And so you proceed accordingly. So that's all I'm going to tell you there. So X is equal to 17 degrees. That's your answer, okay? So I would say put homework here. I would say you should try at least one more on your own before tomorrow. Be comfortable with that. Okay. I'm going to do a trickier one here. So the one that I had assigned here for two groups actually. I'm actually going to have this in your notes so you would know how to deal with probably one of the more challenging questions. Okay? So go to page 20 and let's do the easy part first, right? Which one would you start with? D? Yeah, I would do the same. So I'm going to start right here. 95. And why is that? Vertically opposite angles are congruent. All right, so if you want to, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, this is 95. Okay. Start filling in what you know. What would you do next? Maybe F? F? Yeah, let's do F. I see a triangle, that's why. Okay, so I'm going to show my work here. 180 minus 50 minus 95. And that is equal to, oh no, oh yeah, here it is, my key. I need my key for this one. That is 35, right? And I'll just say sum of triangles equal to 180. That's what has been used. So sometimes you need to do some work and justify, right? So let's put the 35 here. And we can also put the 35 in here to help us out. So we're done with that. Let's see what else we can do. I'm going to try to go find numbers. So I'm seeing this number here, 65. There's a straight line here, right? Straight angle right along here. So we know what H is a supplement to 65. So let's go ahead and do that. So H is my third go-to. So I'm just going to go 180 minus 65, and that's 115 degrees. Straight angle. And you know what? There are many ways of doing these. Many. So you shouldn't be erasing if you've done it a different way, as long as your number is the same. The value should be the same at the end of the day. So 115, that's done. I'm going over here 115. Okay. Oh, and I should have started with that fact that I noticed that these two lines are parallel, right? And I also noticed that these two lines are parallel. That is actually a parallelogram in there, right? Parallelogram. So what else am I going to do now? I'm going to travel, right? So I'm going to use this transversal here to travel from this to this, right? From that line to that line. So let's go. And I notice that B and F are alternate interior, right? So that's going to be my fourth angle here. And so it's simply 35 degrees. Why? Alternate interior angles are congruent. That's it. I'm going to actually write that in here. And then let's continue our journey. I'm going to find A next because I see that there's a triangle here, that small one here. So that's going to be my fifth step. And let's go 180 minus 95 minus 35. I did it the long way, by the way. You should see that there's another way of coming up with that one, but you should get 50 degrees. I use sum of triangle is equal to 180. But do you also see that let's look at this number and travel along that transversal. This is alternate interior. These are alternate interior, right? And it's still 50 though. So I need you to see that you should be able to double and cross check, double, triple check your work. Does it make sense? It does, right? So 50. So everything is getting filled in pretty nicely. Now, there's a couple of ways of doing this. Just follow as best you can. This angle right here is alternate interior to this whole thing here, to the whole thing, right? Because we're talking the parallel lines. So you could technically say that this is 65 and this whole thing is 65 as well. Therefore, if I were to take the 35 away from 65, I should end up with that. Right? Shake that off a little bit. It's like, it's too much. Or you could find this angle, but we still need to find G. How can we do that? I'm going to focus on this straight line here. So I'm going to introduce another highlighter. So why don't we, where did we use the other straight angle? We used that here. So I'm going to highlight this pink, right? Saying I used that straight angle there. And for this one that I'm about to do, I'm going to highlight that orange. So that would be angle number 6 for G. So we're going to go 180 minus 65. Watch what I'm going to do. Minus G minus A. How's that? Minus G minus A. That way you know what's happening. So 180 minus, sorry. Just relax. We can't subtract G because that's what we're trying to find, right? Sorry. Just subtract everything. Get rid of it, right? Minus 180 minus 65 minus A is 50. So G is 65 degrees. Okay, so we put 65 here, and I use a straight angle is equal to 180, and I'm going to use orange there. We're getting somewhere. We're getting there. So I'm going to use my pen for this and just put 65 in here. There's so many ways of doing this. But for E, maybe to just spare you the details, I'm just going to say this. This is 85, and it's not asking you to solve for it, but I know there's a straight angle there. So I'm just going to use sum of triangle is equal to 180 to figure out E. Okay. So E is my next victim, 7. So I'm going to go 180 minus 85 minus G, right, to find that. So it's going to be 180 minus 85 minus 65, and E is 30 degrees. And I'm going to use sum of triangle is equal to 180. So that's 30, and slowly we're getting there. All done. And then I'm going to follow 30, watch this, because these are parallel, right? So I'm going to travel along the transversal, and C is alternate interior to E. So that's my next one, 8. Alternate interior angles are congruent. So this is simply 30 degrees. Right? Maybe should I say this because it's getting pretty crazy here? E and C are, right, those two angles are the alternate interior we're talking about here. And let's not forget about I. What would you use to solve for I? Alternate. Do you see alternate exterior? Do you see that? Let's get away from the mess here and just focus. Hey, that's 115. That's 115. So I'm going to go 115. Alternate exterior. So much fun, eh? Not. When am I ever going to use this in real life, Mr. Tracy? Ooh, trust me, if you go into carpentry, finish carpentry, or any industry that, like plumbing, angles everywhere. Angles everywhere. So knowing these properties is actually, they use it all the time. They might not have a name for it, but they know what to check for. Okay. Oh, that was number 9, right? 3, 6, 3, 6, 9. Yeah. Okay. So now you have a full-on example. If you want to, this was October 24th. If you want to go back to the video, if you can't sleep, right? You just turn that on, and you're going to be gone in no time. Okay. Here's, you know what? I have this. Go to page 26. I have working with triangles here. But really, there's nothing new. Like, you know already what happens when there are triangles. We just go 180 minus the other two. So we're kind of out of time today. So I will just fill this in a little later. We have our scalene triangles, isosceles, and equilateral triangles. But it's not really all that relevant right now for what you need to do next. So I'm going to ask you to, for tomorrow, I don't want to assign too much because I'd rather you do the little bit I assign than to feel overwhelmed. I'm going to say 27 to 28, but 29 has, watch this, 29 has the solving for x. So if you need more practice here with this one, or this one down here, if you want more practice with that, I'm going to also assign that. So 27 to 28, I would say for sure. But if you still need more, then you try that, right? So homework, go to page 27, 27 to 28, 29, I'd say solve for x. And again, please do some. I know life is busy. I know you have other classes. I know you need a break sometimes, and you need to take care of yourselves. But you also, one way of taking care of yourselves is to keep up with what we're doing. Otherwise, you're going to feel overwhelmed and maybe discouraged when we do stuff in class or when I give you an AC. So make sure you stay on top of that. Watch this. AB, these two determine if AB is parallel to CD. So I'm asking you, are these two lines parallel? So you need to actually justify why you would say or why you would say that it's not, right? Whether it is or not, that's what you're trying to prove here. And remember, you need to prove that one of the 4 is true. One of the 4 pairs of angles has that property that we're after, okay? All right. And remember, 3-letter notation for angles, we don't like them very much, so just go 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever. I don't know if my key has it like that, but you go for it.